Hello dear YouTuber friends, and I hope you're all keeping well. Welcome to this new video. These are more hints and tips for Flight Simulator 2024, which should work on both Xbox and PC. Let's get straight into it. Straight into the cockpit. I've got the view of my left G1000. I'm going to alter my altimeter. Now, the question is, how do you reset this? I know people were asking, how do you bind this to controls and how do you reset, say I'm altering, the altimeter that's giving you your reading above sea level of your current location. Obviously, I've messed around with this. That's not correct. How do we reset that? Well, let's go to settings. Settings. Now, there's a couple of ways of doing this. If we go to controls and go to keyboard, and there we go, the keyboard controls have come up. If you put these general controls on keyboard 2020 transversal and the same keyboard 2020 planes, search in this box, click in this box, just type in altimeter. And you should see here, there's two set altimeters. It's this bottom one. If you look at the right there, it gives you a description of what it does. Syncs altimeter setting to sea level pressure of 29.992 if above 18,000 feet. That's correct. So if you put your keyboard controls on 2020 transversal, B will reset your altimeter. How about setting this up on your controls? Well, I'm using the Honeycomb XPC yoke. I'm using the Logitech throttle quadrant, and I've unbound these two buttons down here. I don't have anything bound to them. So whilst we're in this menu, again, I'm going to hover over it. Hover over that other one there. Set altimeter settings millibars. We don't want that one. It's that bottom one there. I'm going to put this as, what is it? T2, I believe. So this switch here. So make sure you got in the right altimeter. Look at the description to the right. There you go, button 2. So if I go back, resume. So any of those, B on your keyboard, I'm going to press T2. Look, it's resetting my altimeter. I'm at Leeds Bradford Airport, by the way. And that is the correct setting of the altimeter for the current location. Isn't that fantastic? Okay, let me just get back to my default view. Another tip for you. You see all these waypoint markers? Well, you can either turn them off completely. I like to have them a button set so I can turn them on and off. And how we would do that? Go to settings, go to controls, select the controller you want to set this up on. I'm using my Logitech throttle quadrant. T1, this button here, that will do. I'm going to search, so make sure you got your controller selected. Going to search in the box here. Oh, toggle visual. There you go. Just start typing it. Toggle visual assistance display. That's the setting you want. And I'm going to bind T1 to that. So there we go. T1, button 1. Go back. Save. Resume. There you go. So I'm going to have those visual settings on and off. Isn't that fantastic? And the same again in the cockpit. Just come down to my left G1000. Play around with my altimeter. Let's unsync it. Press T2. It resets the altimeter. Let's show you one more setting. Okay, so another hint and tip for you. This should work for Xbox and PC. You probably know the quick view system is a bit finicky. You move your hat switch left or right, it will go down to your instruments and go left. Move it right, it goes down these. You've got to click it twice each way to get to your quick views. And it's a bit awkward. Not something I like. I thought they would have fixed that. Well, I fixed it for them. I've made a setting where I can get to my quick views left and right. more smoothly, as you can see, without going down into those stupid instruments. Well, they're not stupid, but that's a stupid way of doing quick views. That's a much better way. Let me show you these settings. So go to settings, controls, and I'm going to select my Honeycomb XPC yoke. This is the one I'm using. I'll just let these load in. What I've done, well, first thing you want to do first, have a keyboard connected for this. You're going to have a much easier time. So if you're on Xbox or PC, go to camera. So in these, let me just go slowly, categories here. Go down to camera. For this one, so we're going to select the keyboard just to make sure that that's selected. And we want to see in camera, cockpit camera. So make sure you got your keyboard selected. Camera, cockpit camera. And you want to scroll down this list in cockpit camera until you get save custom view. You want to find the settings. It's basically save custom camera 1, save custom camera 2. You can use any of these save custom cameras. Let's keep it simple. Save custom camera 1, save custom camera 2. Default settings are Control Alt and 1 for custom camera 1. Save custom camera 2, Control Alt and 2. So control, this control, left control, Alt, that's where they are on the keyboard, standard keyboard, and 1's there. Control Alt and 2 to save custom camera 2. And to load them, we're not going to use these key commands though, but just so you can test it, it's Alt 1, Alt 2. So once again, in settings, controls, go to keyboard, make sure the keyboard's showing on the right. Scroll down in cockpit camera. Camera, in cockpit camera, scroll down until you see save custom camera. Whatever settings you've got there, just take a note of them and look at your keyboard to see where they are. Go back and resume. And essentially what you want to do here, if you use your quick view that you've got set up already, get it into that view. Now here, press Control Alt and 1. And that will save it to custom camera 1. Just reset my view. Same again. Using the default settings, or stupid settings, go to your right quick view and Control Alt and 2. Press Control Alt and 2 and that will save it. And what you should have, if you've done that correctly, if you press Alt and 1, just Alt and 1 by itself, you should get to your left quick view. Alt and 2 should get to your right quick view. So you've got those custom views set up. Then what we want to do is go to settings, go to controls, and whatever controller, I'm using the Honeycomb, of course, Honeycomb XPC yoke, and I've set these up already. While these are loading in to the side, there you go, they've loaded in, I've set up a shifter button. I'm using this red button. So find a button on your controller you can use as a shifter button. You probably, hopefully got one set up, a button you're not using basically. And I'm going to hold that button and move my hat switch to the left to load custom camera 1. Hold the button, move that hat switch to the right to load custom camera 2. What you don't want to do is put your load custom camera 1 on simply left and right. Because if you're in external mode, panning around, as soon as you move it left or right, it's going to go to those custom views. I'll explain that a little bit more in the sim later. So have a shifter button. So what I've done, I'll show you these bindings. I'm just going to go down to camera. I've got my Honeycomb XPC yoke loaded. Cockpit camera. And I want to go down to load custom camera. There you go. Load custom camera 1. So there is that button. It's button 4 apparently. And hat switch to the left. Load custom camera 2, the button, hold the hat switch to the right, hold down the button, move the hat switch to the right. So I've got them set up already. Save them back, resume. So of course, like I showed you before, I'm holding down that button. I can move my hat switch left or right to get that smoother quick view. Left or right, it's very useful. Thing I found with this, even if you apply to all aircraft and make default, you've got to do this in every aircraft. obviously each aircraft has its own unique custom views, so just repeat it for your favourite aircrafts. What's happening to the weather? Like I mentioned before, if I put the quick views simply on left or right on the hat switch, I'll show you what happens. I'm panning around the cockpit because I don't have it set up that way. But if I did, as soon as I move that hat switch left, it's going to jump to my quick view, save custom view rather, 1. Save custom camera 1. So you don't want it, you don't want these save custom cameras simply on the hat switch left or right. Have a shifter button. Get your head around that. I hope that makes sense. There you go, people. Just a few hints and tips for your flight simming pleasure. I hope these have helped and will help. Let me know your thoughts. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. And I'll see you soon.